I've come to Sutton Park today, and the view I've chosen is this one along here. I'm going to start with those, frame it on there, the left of the trees there, and then just sort of sweep around and then sort of frame these bushes, foreground bushes on this side, and then just try and get a bit of depth down here somewhere. So let's have a look at the materials. All the same gear outside, but apart from, to be honest, the tabletop easel, which I just lean against the steering wheel there. I've still used a piece of plywood fixed with a piece of paper fixed to it, 15 by 11 Fabriano. I've got my brushes here, the usual large one Ransonake, 3/4 inch flat, number 3 rigger. Got my water jar down here by the handbrake. Paints, all the usual stuff. I'm a bit short of ultramarine, so I'll have to try and make do. Ultramarine, lemon yellow, Payne's grey, alizarin crimson, raw sienna, burnt umber and light red. So one quick last look before I make a start. You can see the sky's pretty blue. We've got some sort of darker clouds up here, so try and replicate that on the paper. I'm going to start off with the hake brush, and that's quite a watery raw sienna mix, just raw sienna on its own, and then just sweep that across. Plenty of water right down to the bottom, just dipping the tips in just to keep bringing the hairs back together. Right, I'm going to clean the brush, take a bit of excess of water away on the tea towel, and then let's go into this ultramarine. Like I say, there's actually not a lot there at all, is there? But I ran out of paint last night. I'm just waiting for the delivery through the post. So I'll just have to make do for the time being. So we've got a nice blue sky. Just brushed in very simply, leaving gaps where the raw sienna is. Let's just bring this right down to the bottom. And then where the paint's dripping down, I'm just gently taking those drips away. And especially you'll get like a sort of reservoir at the bottom. Just take your brush and just sweep it across like that, and it'll soak all that water up. Let's put those clouds in. So I'm going to clean the brush. Now I don't want as much water on the brush now, because there's already enough water on the paper, and it'll just get too watery. So I'm going to go raw alizarin crimson, Payne's grey. Now I'm just looking, sort of big cloud over there. And then there's sort of just some little ones, some smaller ones down the bottom there, just above the horizon line. So I'm going to leave it at that for now. Clean the brush. Now what I've got here to speed up the drying process is like a cooking burner thing, what the chefs use. I'm just trying to remember how to use it. That's got it. Let's give that a quick dry with this. Doesn't have to be bone dry. That'll do it. just saves a bit of time. And I'm just going to, where the paper's stretched a bit, I'm just going to pull it tight and refix it. So I've got a flat surface to work with again. Right, so that's nice, and it's not bone dry, but it's good enough to continue with that horizon line. So starting with the most distant bit of land, the same colours as the sky. So I'm going raw sienna, burnt umber, and then just work out where your horizon line is going to be. Beginning about a third of the way down. Putting in some really distant trees there. There's one or two houses there which I might just leave unpainted little bits, just to suggest like rooftops and whatnot. Trying to keep this fairly level. Well, just as I say that, I took my eye off it then. It doesn't matter, I can just level that out. Just level that out, like I say, I'm just leaving bits of the little white bits there, they look like little rooftops or something. Just gives the impression of something, a few little details in there, but minimum of effort. Try and use the fewest strokes possible. That's sort of coming right over. That's the raw sienna. Just trying to, so just changing the colour there slightly. Just get a bit of variation in. And then switching to, just adding a bit of lemon yellow in. Might even go a bit of burnt umber as well. Those sort of winter looking trees, which I'm just going to use the corner of the brush now. Just suggest them on the horizon. Now over on this left hand side there's those stronger looking like evergreens, so I'm going lemon yellow, Payne's grey, really strong green now, and they're going to come over to about there. Again, just using the corner of the hake, and in front of those it's like a browny reddy type colour, something like so. Again, remember use that light red, be very subtle with it because it'll, such a strong colour, doesn't take much. Just levelling that off. Let's see a few little trunks, so just using your fingernail. Because I've put this on using very little water, you can see out the palette there's no water swishing about. Pretty strong mix, means I haven't got to wait for the paint to dry, I can go straight in with a fingernail. Same when you're doing rocks. If it's too wet it'll just fill straight back in, obviously if it's too dry you'll get nothing. I'm just trying to be subtle with these, don't want to get too mad. Just gives the impression of a few trunks there. So very quickly you've got this impression, I'll show you later closer up what I mean. Also a few. You can see stronger mix, less water, really brings stronger tones as well, brings the elements right forward into the scene, as opposed to these more water but the same colour as the sky pushes it right back. I'm going to go for a bit of grass now, so I'm going to clean the brush. Again, I take the excess off on the tea towel. Bit of lemon yellow. Bit of lemon yellow, and again just don't want it quite that dry. Almost dry brush now. See, the drier the art gets, the more the ends of the pears curl up. Bit of raw sienna, lemon yellow. I'm just going to quick sweep. Again, same again. Right there. Back to that bushy colour, I'm doing burnt umber, ultramarine, bit of Payne's grey, lemon yellow, a bit of everything really. And a few little effects. Let's just use this burner again, just an excuse to use the burner really. Just try that bit there. Oh! That's what happens when you get a bit too close with it. Mind you, it's quite a nice effect. I didn't mean to do that, but so that sort of burns it in a sort of brown, nice browny colour, which actually might work well with the bushes. We'll just a few bushes in there. Burnt umber, ultramarine. Let's just put those little bushes in there. And we clean the brush, and then on the right hand side we've got these foreground bushes, so let's start with a nice strong lemon yellow, Payne's grey, nice strong greeny mix. Somewhere about like that. Let's get them right up. Bit of light red in there as well, just to change it a bit. So that makes it darker. A little bit higher. Just come in. Bit of burnt umber, that will also make it darker as well. Light red to change the flavour a little bit. I think that's all. Just a few little flicks. I don't want to put too many in because I've already used it here, and I don't like to use scraping in more than one area of the painting. In fact, I know what we'll do with that. If we want some twigs, let's use the rigger brush. Bit of burnt umber. Burnt umber, ultramarine. Darkish mix, and then just some light little twigs in there. Blades and things over there. Well, I got this rig, I might put a little figure in. Little figure walking the dog. Let's just stick them somewhere about there. And let's give some red top. Paint it over his head now. Let's pop his head back on. We got a little dog here. Let's pop his head on and his body, little legs, a little bit of a tail, and just a very, very faint hint of a bleed. That'll do. A few little tracks and things where he's coming from. Little bits of things here lying around and whatnot. Don't know what they are, but somewhat lying on the ground. So it's back to the hike. I'm going to clean the brush. I think, although you can't see one in the actual scene, I'm just going to put a path in, because it always helps, I think, a path. I'm going to go, what should I use? Bit of red, bit of blue. And if we put it, where should we put him? Somewhere, something like that. Something like that. Just leads the eye in nicely into the scene, into our little person walking the dog. So I've cleaned the brush again. Back to raw sienna, lemon yellow. Let's just push this up to the path. Again, constantly trying to vary this green. You don't want to have the same green all the way along. Green on the other side. I think we're almost done. Just a few more little bits of sticking out from the grass here and there. Very light, just very light touches. I think we're done with that. So let's have a closer look at it and compare it to the actual view. Now the sky's changed slightly since I first started to paint, but you can see that big bit of grey cloud up there, which is what I've tried to do here. It was Payne's Grey Lizard and Crimson, and that was over as raw sienna and ultramarine. Bit of sky there. And you can see that distant land and the trees on the left and these bushes on the right hand side. So you can see the trees, just using the corner of the hake, and then the effective use of the fingernail here, just suggesting these trunks. Really helps make it look like a tree. And then distant landing, same colours as well, it was basically ultramarine and raw sienna, same colour, pushes it right back into the distance. Just leaving bits of unpainted bits that could be rooftops or anything really. And then got these bushes framing it on the right hand side. Didn't want to do too much scraping again because I'd done the scraping here with these trunks, so used the rigger instead to suggest a few twigs and branches and whatnot. Couldn't resist a bit of scraping there. Foreground's very plain, you can just see it's just a load of grass basically. Tried to vary the greens, bits of mud and grey grass, green, brown grass here and there, and then see the addition of our little person walking the dog, just to add a focal point to the scene. And you can see where I've tried to vary it, a bit more ultramarine in these areas, raw sienna, lemon yellow, just keeping the green varied, and then the introduction wasn't in the scene but little path just adds an element to lead you into the dog, and like I say, there's your focal point. Well, I hope you like that. Thanks for watching. Keep practicing. Any questions please ask, and I'll see you again soon.